All right, there it was. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, Mario, I got to tell you, we got our snow here too today. So we've joined you. So,
Except for it's all melted on the road and
Yeah, the
it's
school
not a
districts
problem.
all called the snow day, so nobody's going to school.
oh boy.
And I got in an accident yesterday. I ran into a pole because my car
Ah,
slid. Not a good sign.
no, no, not a good way to start the year.
But nobody got hurt, so that's good.
Yeah, nobody got hurt except for my car.
Of the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should see my car. My door's all smashed in.
No.
Nothing I could do though. I was turning left and it just slid and right into a pole.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, thanks for coming on this cold morning. But it's been relatively mild until, so we've kind of been waiting for this. We'll just see how it goes. Let's see, January 10th, 2024. Let's talk real estate. And National Squirrel Day. I don't know what day exactly. I guess it can be any day. Pick a day for National Squirrel Day. But there's something for your social media. And remember, people love animal pictures. And
That one's cute.
That squirrel is cute.
that's a good one. Yes. Yes. Gives rodents a good name.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's what they are. They can be really destructive. Yeah.
We just let them do whatever.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. Our neighborhood squirrels are pretty much just domesticated.
They are. They are. All right. Well, let's start talking real estate. What I want to say today is a reminder, and I've talked about this quite a bit. The majority of our best producers often get between 25% to 50% of their business coming from their database. Your lifelong earnings in real estate will probably, from a majority standpoint, will come from the successful operation of your database. And like we've said, that's your gold mine, and that's where future business will come from if you cultivate it. If you strategically cultivate it, it won't happen by accident. And you can look back after a 30-year career and think of all the opportunities that were missed to have to have put people in the database and followed up with them. And Shauna's nodding her head because she knows how many times she has seen someone that she ran across in the past, not 30 years exactly, but who went elsewhere for no other reason that there wasn't contact and affirmation that you should call Shauna. So think about that. Understand and adopt the 10% rule to boost your conversions. Somehow, somewhere, get together at least 300 to 500 people who know you as being their real estate agent, or people who know that you may have a connection to potential clients. Now, I was reading this in the Mike Ferry system, and he said 1,000 people. And 1,000 people, and he did the equations. You can make $1 million a year. All right, that's great. Let's put it in numbers that maybe are a little closer to what we understand. So 300 to 500 people, and these are not random names from a list, not throwing in people that come from an open house, and not just collecting email addresses. That's easy to do. You could do this in a week. You could get 1,000 people in a week if that's all you were after. But it's not. It's people that know you and want to work with you. So your job is to collect a few hundred people who know you as their real estate agent. And that's a workout. We certainly understand doing it that way takes a lot of contacts, have to talk to a lot of people. If we get 500 people who really consider us as their real estate agent, then we look at the 10% rule. We believe that you get 10% of that database to either do business with you or provide you with a referral every year. So here's the math, 500 times 10 equals 50 transactions, 10%. I hope I'm right on that. And for those 50 transactions, let's say your average commission is $6,000, probably higher today. Ultimately, we want to see you get your database to 500 people, 10% rule, 50 deals a year, making 300,000 in gross revenue from your database alone. Now, doesn't that sound great? All
I feel
right.
like it's super accurate.
Yeah. Yeah. 10%, but it's all down to the quality of the database. And that's a tough one. That's a tough
It
one.
takes a lot of work to keep your database dialed in, for sure. It took me a year.
But
And that's no joke.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. It takes a career, really, to get those. But think of the people that you do come across that you don't put in a database and work. That's just a lost opportunity. Every past client, unless it really went south, which happens, but every past client is part of your database, and that's easy. So you're constantly adding your database just by that alone. And every opportunity to meet people. So take advantage of the new year and what is expected to be a great real estate market. We'll talk about that. Remember to treat your business like a business. All right, what's going on in production here? Let me open this up. See what we have for listings. We're not going to have, yeah, listings have been dropping, which is what the market is doing as well. Sales have increased, listings have dropped, which is why ours has gone down to 27, and we were closer to 40 going into this season. So, Kung, what's anything new on the listings and sales?
Yeah, agents are still staying busy during this winter, these winter months. Nayef has a new listing in Redmond. It went on the market on the 8th. Congrats to her. And we have Lena going under contract. And that one is in Portland. So she's staying busy as well. And I've been working with a couple agents up in the Portland office, getting ready for new listings. So stay tuned for some of that with more information. Kendall Miller and Michelle Kovalev have a couple coming on the market here soon. So I'll let you guys know when those hit the market.
Nice.
Right. Okay, excellent. How are things in Washington, Shauna?
Well, I have had a couple listing appointments in the last week, so I'm gonna list a office building in Astoria. This is a person that a referral from a person that I met while in Los Angeles at a Century 21 convention in 2020, and she kept my card and called me. She's in New Jersey. And we sat together and talked one evening during the event. And so I'm listing her brother's office building in Astoria. So that'll be a fun trip down to the coast, hopefully tomorrow, that I'll do that. And so if you know anybody looking for an office building in Astoria, let me know. And I also got a referral for a rental property, a gentleman who's renting it out. He wants to sell it if he can as a rental, but either way, he'll sell it, and I'll be going there next week. So that'll be a property around 430, I think, is where we're gonna list that at. So that'll sell quickly. My one house there on 418 or 419.9. We've gotten through the inspection, so we're on to closing, and I'm just shocked at how easy that one went as soon as we got some professional photos on it. It makes such a huge difference. Within 2 days, we went into contract as soon as we got some good photos on that property and priced it right. which helps me with the next one that we're gonna do, is very similar to this one. So it really helps me to show him what happened with theirs so that he can price his correctly and get a good sale on it quickly.
Okay.
Nice. Like a boss.
What do you know about
In a lounge in Los Angeles.
what's this property? This is interesting. It says
Uh,
I don't know
Oh,
that one.
that's the cabin. That's Shauna Wallace's cabin.
Oh, yes, that's on Winters. You're right. I was like, it looks familiar, but I was drawing a blank. Yeah, that one is contingent. There's a bumpable buyer, but I think it just went pending. So gonna need to make that pending for them. It's not been an easy one. She's worked a lot of hours on this.
Mhm.
And now it's in a domino type deal and yeah. So we're gonna get this one closed.
Nice. That's a nice looking place.
Yeah, I told her when I saw it, it was listed with another office. And I
Really?
told her when I saw it, I said, this is gonna sell. And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah, this is gonna sell. People want to, have land. They want to be out in the rural areas for this price. I mean, it's a manufactured home, but you hardly could tell.
Not
No, you really can't. Looks like a cabin.
okay.
Nice.
Great. What's happening in Idaho?
Well, we currently have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 listings right now. We've actually sold quite a bit. A couple weeks ago, we were at 11. So we have 6 at the moment. Jeffrey has 3, Augie has 1, Lee Lanigan has 1, and I have 1. The one that I have, there's a buyer who wants to buy it, but he's just got back from vacation, so I need to find out if I called the agent yesterday to see if he's still interested in purchasing the property. I have 2 listings coming up, one on Monday next week, one by the end of this week, and then I have a potential buyer who we've gone back and forth on 2 homes. They need to decide on which one they're going to take. Hopefully they'll make a decision and we'll have a deal coming with a new home. The 2 listings I have, one is about 410,000. The other one's about 360. So that looks good. I'm happy on my side. But we've sold some of the ones that we had listed a few weeks ago. So I'm happy for that.
Excellent.
Nice. Very nice.
Where was that? I don't think I had seen this one.
Which one?
It was Emmett, Idaho.
Oh. That's been on the,
Is that, yeah, the star on the garage? Yes.
yeah, I think that's sold.
Okay. It has that desert lawn.
Yes.
Rocks.
That's becoming more and more popular in the Treasure Valley, like Phoenix and Vegas, where they they just go with the natural.
Well, oh yeah. And Southern California,
Yeah.
they're not supposed to do anything else anymore.
Right.
They ran out of water.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Good. So 27 listings overall, down a bit. Let's talk about that. About why that's down. Company events, the Las Vegas event, March 4th through March 7th is coming up. Think about your availability for that. Oh, I know there's a lunch and learn coming up. Kung?
Yeah, tomorrow, the 11th at noon. Oregon agents, please stop by at the office. We're going to do a New Year's bash. So we'll have Tyquor Title in the office doing a presentation as well as lunch. We also have a photographer coming. So if you need to update your headshot profile picture, please stop in, get that updated for all your marketing needs. And I also have a hybrid Zoom class scheduled for the 25th on Thursday. let's see, Old Republic will be presenting on that one, and they're going to be talking about the market, and we're going to have a lender talk about what's going on. So this will be a good one. I'll be sending out the link to sign up for that class. You can either come into the office and log in with the other agents, or stay at home and join the class. So it's up to you guys. But I'll
You
have
do
more
get
information out today.
Yeah, you do get lunch. Oh, and by the way, I think that photographer is going to be offering some discounts because he's coming to a group event. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Good. Good.
Hey, John, this is Mario. I didn't realize, are we supposed to put our events on the website?
No. I just asked you about them during the meetings.
Okay, that's right. Okay, that's what I thought. I didn't realize that. Or
Yeah, I don't list them here.
okay.
Let us
But you
know
do
for
have,
sure. Yeah.
so you have a bunch coming up too.
I
Are
do. The next one is on January 16th, where we're going to have the NAR litigation discussion update. I made that required as opposed to mandatory, and asked the agents to either attend either at their home office via webinar or Zoom meeting offsite or with us. And then we have another one coming up on the 31st, our open house. I'm getting some good responses on some title companies to sponsor it. And after our meeting on the 8th that we had with the new forms changes for this year, we at the office had another meeting just informally, of course, and we talked about some of the things that we wanted to do. I asked the agents who attended what they wanted to do, and we talked about having maybe twice a meeting together at the office, and to do a broker's tour, and talk about our listings coming up so that we could collaborate with each other and hopefully provide information that nobody else has, but that we as a branch will have and can help each other sell our houses even faster, by talking about what's coming, what's not on the market, and for potential buyers. And then I recently joined the Caldwell Board of Realtors here, and they've asked me to be part of a group among the brokers only, to see what we could do as a group of brokers for the Caldwell Board of Agency Realtors. And so one of the things that I suggested was, why don't we have a broker's tour, after our meetings that we have monthly? It used to be in California when I was there, we would meet with the Association of Realtors and then have everybody announce their listings or upcomings, and we could talk about it. Then we'd have a broker's tour right after that. They really liked that idea. I know with the pandemic, it's kind of changed over the last few years, but they really like that to see if maybe we can do that again. That's how it used to be. And so that was my suggestion today that I made with them, and they really seem to like that. So we're going to see how we could potentially do that in the near future.
Okay.
Nice.
Excellent. So, Kung, remind me, the RMLS is a place to put that you're going to have a broker open. Do they still do that?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so that's something that at Caldwell you're looking at getting back to.
Yeah, the Caldwell Board of Realtors used to do that. They don't do it anymore. But I suggested we go back to doing that, and they seem to be very acceptable to doing that, and they seem to very excited, to want to do that. And so hopefully we can, as a Caldwell Board of Realtors Association here, maybe get that back, maybe get that started again.
Good.
At the very minimum, we as a branch are going to do that.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to meet twice a month and get everybody together, and then do our brokers tour in-house. Whether the Caldwell Board of Realtors does it or not, we're going to do it as a branch here in Caldwell.
Nice.
Good.
That's awesome.
Everyone should be doing it. Yeah.
Okay, good. Shawnee, does does the MLS in Vancouver, do they
No.
facilitate?
No, the only thing that we have that's organized, and it's kind of like a club thing, and it's the luxury home tours, and it's once a month. And yeah, it isn't something that they have done, and that stopped a long time ago. When I first started as a realtor, there were property tours like that offices did together, like all the Century 21s used to do tours together when I very first started in the 90s. So that was really cool. And I loved it, but they just don't do it. So I am going to see what we can do here as an office too, because it's fun. When I was new, I loved going to property tours. It was one of my favorite things to do. So I think that we'll try to do that. And I like the idea of doing it after the office meeting on Wednesdays. So that's kind of what I want to do, but I'm gonna have to get with, the few agents that are here that would want to do that.
It's fun. We just went out yesterday. It's a good time.
So is the luxury property tour by invitation only?
It seems as though anybody can join, but it is invitation to people that are members of the group or something. I get invitations, so evidently I am a member of the group, but I haven't gone for a long time. It really, how many of us have people buying $2-3 million houses? So I think time would be better spent, because it's kind of just more of like an ego thing for a bunch of people that have these listings to go, be together. But I think it would be better to go look at some realistic price ranges. That would be fun. And we definitely will include our own listings and put those in a tour, that kind of thing. That's what we used to do as an office, is go to all of our own listings and look at them and give opinions. And it was very helpful. So as we get more listings, that will be something that I think that would be beneficial if I can get that together and get people to go with me.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. And no matter, even if it's just one or two, sometimes, always fun and worth it.
Okay. Well, let's look at the market conditions today. I've got two new regional MLS reports for Portland Metro and for Clark County. And the headline today is lower rates continue for 11 straight weeks. So what does that mean? Well, it means they didn't exactly go down, but they didn't exactly go up either. They went up 0.01 percentage points. Now, if you remember, we didn't used to count 0.01. We didn't used to concern ourselves with that. So I'm not going to concern myself with it today. Rates are still low, and that's been going on for 11 straight weeks, but it didn't drop. So that's the news. Rates are essentially the same. They're 6.62. And the 15-year did drop down 0.04 points. So that's good. And what does it say? This week's stagnating rates are likely just a temporary pause. Experts predict with inflation easing, we expect mortgage rates will continue to drift downwards as the year unfolds. And that's Freddie Mac's chief economist. So good news, 6.62, and there's the chart down on the 15, up 0.01 on the 30-year. And the consumer price index, which is one of the driving forces, the figures have not come out. It's remaining at 3.1. The absorption rate is going to be a little bit different because I have the new market action reports, and we have a market time in Portland of 2.7 months. So that's pushed it back over into the seller's box, according to this metric. And in Southwest Washington, we have a market time of 2.7 months. So,
yeah, so it kind of went to like a little almost to 4 and then back to almost to 3. And I felt the pull there, like definitely multiple offer in January on one of my listings. That's kind of unusual. So hopefully it's an indicator that things are going to be better soon.
Right. Yeah, it's an unusual thing happening right now is there are more buyers than sellers. And that may be because interest rates look like they've stopped rising and have come back down to a nice place. That might be the reason. And sellers never want to sell during the winter. So that might just be the seasonal factor for that. But we are a seller's market again, at least for these. The affordability index that will come out. I'm waiting for that to come out any day for the fourth quarter, but the third quarter was not very affordable. So this will be interesting to see because the interest rates went down, nearly from 8%. And prices are decreasing very modestly. So affordability should come back up into a nice area. Okay, the Economist report today was jobs figures, which is always important, especially with buyers. What's happening on that, Koom?
There's mixed news on the latest job figures. According to the household survey, there were 683,000 fewer Americans working in December. Despite that, the unemployment rate held steady at 3.7% because 845,000 left the labor force or were not even searching for a job. The survey data is considered bouncy and less reliable than company payroll data, showing a jobs gain of 216,000. Moreover, the latest average hourly earnings rose by 4.1% to $34.27. This is an acceleration from the previous month of 4%, though down from 4.8% a year ago.
So that's interesting. It makes me wonder, were the 683,000 people that left, were those just the realtors who are giving?
Quite a few.
People who have to pay their dues, yeah.
Right. Possibly.
Yeah, that's always an interesting factor when you look at unemployment is there are people who leave them, for whatever reason, they just don't need to work or they're not going to work and they're not looking for a job.
I find that really confusing.
It does confuse.
The whole paragraph confuses me.
It confuses the statistic. Well, what it's saying is it's okay. It's okay. There are less people working, but it's their choice.
Yeah, they didn't have to work.
Good for them.
Right.
They're probably realtors.
Right.
We'll see what else the Economist says. Wall Street emphasizes the more reliable payroll data and the wage inflation pressure. Consequently, the bond market believes the Federal Reserve will be more cautious about lowering interest rates this year. The benchmark 10-year Treasury yield has been pushed up a bit, which inevitably means that the recent declines in mortgage rates are over until more economic data points towards softer inflation. In addition to the job market, the US government is looking to sell more bonds to finance its huge budget deficit. It may have to offer higher interest rates to entice more bond buyers. Some bond investors are also nervous about the possible government shutdown. All in all, jobs are being added, raising long-term housing and commercial real estate demand. However, short-term dynamics are more influenced by the movements in mortgage rates and the bond market.
Okay, good. Interesting stuff.
Right.
Nice.
Always interesting statistics.
Just statistics, and definitely look at the graphs and charts that are on the article and study them because these are all important numbers that buyers and sellers are always worried about. So be familiar with the market.
Okay, thank you. Let me do this. Instead of doing the role play like we usually do, let me just really quickly go through. I want to go through the Portland Metro statistics. So this is the RMLS, the market action report for December. And let me look at the charts. I have that in front of me. there should be a chart for pending sales. All right, active listings, 2023 is the gold bar, and it's the highest in 3 years. So there's a trend there for active listings. And new listings is the gold bar, but that's down. Pending sales. So pending sales, 1,309, and that's an increase of 8.5. So that's where you see that it's a buyer's market. We've got less inventory, but more buyers. And then closed sales, we have, it's the gold one there, and that's right down there. The decreased 9.2. And so I think that's a seasonable adjustment as well. Market time 2.7, which is the highest it's been in 3 years for this month. And then the trend here is average and median prices decreased 2.1% from 610,900 to 598 is the median price in the Portland metro area. So I have these statistics up. I have these reports for you here. I'll get Cowlitz County and Ada County up there soon. So a very interesting market. It just seems to be improving. All the news is good coming into the new year. All right. Yeah. Accelerate. I didn't update this. There is this Accelerate program going to be starting in February. I'll post that for next week. If you're interested in Accelerate, click on this. These are clickable links and see what they have for February. The Go List, which is another deep dive into your listing presentation, February 6th to February 15th. Have a look at that. The 21-day challenge, January 17th. We have links to the Century 21 Learning Library and the Century 21 MoxieWorks, and then direct to MoxieWorks itself for support. And in case you didn't know, the C21 social media playbook is there as well. Lots of tips on making videos and why you make videos and what to say in videos and how long to say it. My favorite on that is write your text, write it all out, and then cut it in half. And then maybe cut it in half again. And that's what you want to say.
All right. Get to the point, right?
Get to the point. Yes, less is better. All right. Cheryl, you gave me these. Sorry, I'm Shauna. You gave me these two things.
Yeah, talking about agent videos.
Yeah, we were.
This actually, I wrote some notes on a video. I signed up for a class from realtor.com and they sent me the recording because I didn't go to it, which is, you guys, if you get invited to classes, half the time when they're online, if you sign up for them, they're going to send you the recording. So do it because this was really good. I woke up really early one morning. I thought this is really good stuff. The video actually had a lot more than just this. I just picked this part out of it. And because I thought, I did an agent introduction video, but it was in 2020. It's time to redo mine. So this is the outline I'm going to use. It's a way that you can speak to new and potential clients and let them know a little bit about yourself. Keeping it short too. We don't want a really long one. I have watched some of them that are pretty long. But you want to keep, I think, it under 2 minutes. Maybe like a minute and a half. Is that what you guys are hearing? I think that's a good length of time. It doesn't need to be very long. It's just something that they're going to see on your website, most likely. They're great for adding to your website, social media pages, or any other professional pages you might have, like your realtor.com profile. Everybody has that for free. So It helps with your exposure. It lets potential clients see you and helps your likability. It's going to let you connect with some of the people, because when you're making your video, you're going to obviously, first thing you're going to do is introduce yourself and then explain where you work. This is really basic, but it's going to help me write out what I'm going to say, but that's kind of the hardest thing for me. I have the Keeping Current Matters where it helped me with a lot of that, but I have determined that I don't use it enough, so I have discontinued that. It was $100 a month, so I'm cutting my costs a little bit with that. So I needed to find other things to do. So I'll be writing this out, explain what types of properties that you work on, which is really good. I wouldn't have thought to do the next one is explain if you work with buyers or sellers or both. I just assumed that people know that. But when I got interviewed this a couple days ago, the agent kept asking me, what do you do, listings or buyers? And he kept asking me, and so I finally got it through his head that, it goes one way or another. Over the last 4 years, I mostly did buy or sellers, but now a lot of buyers are in my database. So I kind of just go with what's happening, and I prefer to work with both, if that's okay. I mean, I finally got him to, I like both, but
Right.
if I could pick, it would be sellers, because that's a little bit more of a control of your time. So you're gonna tell, you're in your video who you work with, and then show your personality and smile and have fun. So I, talk maybe a little bit about what you like. For me, I would say, I like to play tennis, and I like arts and crafts. So, you just tell them a little bit of, I'm a dog mom, whatever you want to do. Just give your personality and be, smiling. And then it helps you prepare. This is just really a good, quick thing to look at before you do a video. It says, write a script and practice it a couple times before you do it. Choose a comfortable setting. And they did talk about, for this person that they used in their example. And if anybody wants to see this video that I watched from Realtor.com, I'm happy to share it with you. I'm pretty sure that you can just open it and view it. But the gal that they had, she worked on lakefront properties. So she did the background of the lake, and so that was her background. So make it a comfortable setting. You don't want it to be like busy or other things going on. You definitely want it just very comfortable for them, so that they can see your background, but they're paying attention to you. Stabilize your camera on a tripod or a stable surface. They went a lot in this video. Maybe I'll bring that portion of the video another time, but they talked a lot about how cheap some of the things are that you can get these days. Tripod might not be the cheapest, but the Ring light is very inexpensive, under $20. So that's something that I think I might go out and get, is a tripod, so that I can put it where I want, because it's all about the angle. You want to look good in your video. Like right now, I'm sitting with my laptop on like 3 things so that it's sitting up, because I don't like people looking at my nose and things like that. So get your tripod or a stable surface. My husband's always yelling at me to put myself in the middle of the screen, because I have in the past, like, oh, well, I want them to see those 2, awards that I have back there, and I'll go to the side. But he's like, always be in the center. It looks better. And that was what they said. So he was right. And be aware of the lighting, cloudy, if you're doing it outside, they say, people are always waiting for a nice sunny day. That's not necessarily the best time to do a video outside. Cloudy days, which we have a lot of here, are better. So, and I challenge everybody here to do one of these. And next week, let's look at them. What do you think? Is that a good idea?
Yeah.
I would love that. I love to post agents' videos. And
Yeah. I mean, you could do it, and then you don't have to post it, but it's good practice. I'm going to do one. I was going to try to get one done before today, but I ran out of time, but I will have mine done next week. I want a new one for my website. The one I have is from, is in during the lockdown, I believe, and I was in my office in my house that I don't even live in anymore. So I want to redo it. So.
Right. Well, I have an observation on the whole thing. Remember I talked about when we got the social media playbook and I read it and I said 40 pages out of 50 on social media are about doing videos. And I thought, has it really come to that? That's the recommendation from this giant advertising agency who specializes in real estate, that their recommendation to an individual agent is to do as many videos as they can get out there. And that only bothered me because I'm old and I've seen the past and I'm not looking at the future. But I always look for comparisons about the old days. What did we do? What did they do in the 50s? You know, they did floor time. And I thought, well, that's the most direct equation, the similarity. This is today's floor time. Now, you would come in back in those days and sit at the front desk. Hi, can I help you? And what would they ask you? They'd ask you about yourself. They'd ask you all these kinds of things. And you would spend 2 minutes with a quick little resume or little elevator speech. So the only thing that's changed is the technology. They're not likely walking in the door like they used to. So you have to put it in a little can and put it out there. It's as simple as that. So I fully embrace video. It's absolutely the way to go. It is the replacement for floor time. Everything has a past. Everything has a history. And so does this. So does a little 1.5 minute speech.
Yep.
It can't be that hard, really. I mean, and I don't have a tripod, but I make it work. I can stack things up and do, but I'm going to look into getting those things.
Go on Amazon, all that stuff, because everybody's doing it now. It used to be that kind of stuff was expensive because it was for professionals. It's not, but it's good enough and it's cheap. So you can buy kits and all kinds of things.
I think I used to have one and then I never used it. And I also had a selfie stick. My mom gave me a selfie stick a long time ago. And I never even took it out of the box, I don't think. And this is one of the tools that they said, next week I can maybe go over that part of it. And like the programs for editing that are free and things like that when you want to do like listing videos, because there's a lot of different types of videos. But basically, this is one that you all need to do because we all have websites and we all have, we have the desire to get in front of people and get them to know us. So everybody needs to do this one at least.
All right. Excellent. And content, you said you were with Keeping Current Matters and they give you content. Well, their content, they give a lot of that content away. Just go to their YouTube site or go to their website. The content is right here. This blog that we're looking at right here. If you can't find 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes of content out of this, you certainly can.
Well, the that playbook also has tons of ideas too. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. All right. Good stuff. So think about making videos. I would love to see some videos. They're out there. I've seen some really good ones. I know some people do it. Some people do it and then they don't do it. It needs to be a routine, just like floor time. You have your floor time schedule and you would spend 3 hours on it doing nothing. Do this. This is a great replacement for that. What do you have on networking?
I belong to a mail out that's called, it's The Go Giver, if anybody's ever read those books. And he sends stuff to me every day. And this one stood out to me. So I wanted to talk a little bit about it because we're always looking for new ways. And Mondays I talk about lead generation, and one way to get leads is to network with people. And when networking is approached correctly, it's a powerful way to establish the know, like, and trust relationships that are so helpful toward building a successful business. And approaching it correctly is first understanding that networking is not about handing your business cards to everyone you meet and talking about your product or your service or yourself. Not only does that not distinguish you in that person's eyes, but it's typically a turnoff and counterproductive toward any type of potential business and or referral relationship.
But
So,
Shauna, that's what we're all told to do. Even I agree with you. I think it doesn't impress anybody, but that's what everybody will tell you to do, is get out there in any group, anything you can find, and give out your business cards.
well, it's gonna sneak in there. I mean, if you're good at this, right? It's gonna sneak in there. So, but this is why this stood out to me, because the Go Giver has a different business model than some of the other coaching type things that you see and are offered as a realtor. The Go Giver is all about giving and then receiving. It's a known thing that if you give, you will receive. So
I totally agree with it. I totally agree. And we're going to a conference in a month or so, and there are going to be people who just walk up to us and, here's my business card, I want referral business. And if the card drops on the floor by accident, I don't pick it up, because I know nothing about that person. They didn't even have the courtesy to make small talk. So
right.
they will never get a referral, and all they're doing is giving away a box of business cards.
Yeah, it's funny because when you said that, the referral that I got recently from the convention, I talked with that lady almost all night, and I don't really remember all too much, but I did. And because I talked to a lot of people, and but then once she started talking, then she reminded me and then I could remember. So, but yeah, it's about the time that you spend with them. And so this is really cool. It says the definition of networking is simply cultivating a mutual beneficial give and receive win-win relationship. Note the emphasis is on the give aspect. This is what will separate you from others in their mind. How do you give to someone you've just met? Asking questions such as how he got started in the business and what she enjoys most about her work helps this person to feel both good about themselves and good about you. Asking questions. This is something we do a lot throughout what we train for, is asking questions, such as how he started his business and what she enjoys most. It makes them feel good. I just said that, but it's worth saying again. People like to talk about themselves and relate to you. Asking questions, I just said that, I keep saying the same thing, but it is important. However, there is one question that can be a game changer for your business. And the key point is, after you feel nice and there's a general rapport has been established, how can I know if someone I'm speaking with is a good customer for you? This question clearly sets you apart and distinguishes you from practically everyone else that person has ever met. After all, they've probably never been asked that question before. I don't know. Has anybody asked you guys that question before? I don't think so. But that would be remarkable. If somebody said that to me, I would be instantly like honed in on what they had to say if they were trying to help me with my business. By the way, an excellent lead-in question to that question is, Pat, I always enjoy connecting good people with other good people. Tell me how I can know if, and then the question. So that is something I also use when I'm calling my sphere of influence and talking to people and asking for referrals. I like to tell them, I really enjoyed working with you. And I like to work with people like you. So that's why I'm asking for referrals from you, because I want to work with people that are like you. And that's another way to connect with people. This way you frame the question, and it also paves the way for their answer to truly help you to help them. So after all, they can know how you can, it'll help you identify people that they'll like. So the afterthought, if the person you're speaking with would not find prospective customer clients to be a value, then simply ask, how can I know if someone I'm speaking with would be a good connection for you? So you can find different ways to ask those questions, and it's, you're trying to help them. That is the go-giver mentality. And I think it's a good motto to work and live by, both.
Nice.
So what's the context of that? I think that's where, so it gets down to this question, how can I know if someone I'm speaking with is a good customer for you? And you would
Mhm.
actually ask somebody that you've just met? That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, it says after you build the rapport, then you've been talking to them, you've asked them what they like about their business and how they got started in it. And so you've been talking a little bit, and then you say, wow, well, if I, know somebody who needs to put an elevator in their house, that, I mean, there's just all, you could use it different lines, but you gotta practice at it. So practice your scripts.
Okay,
Yep.
interesting. Interesting. Yeah, good stuff. That's all good stuff.
I'm not reading the exercise. I feel like people understand the whole idea now.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's all about it is all about networking, and that's in one way that's the most challenging form of prospecting, even though it's clearly the most beneficial. It sure beats making phone calls and cold calls. It sure beats floor time. It's the most proactive of all, if you can be in the right group, whatever the
Yeah,
right.
don't ever turn down an opportunity to hang out with people. I was sitting in a group 2 days ago after a tennis match, and I know all these ladies, but I don't get to always spend time with them. And I was sitting in the lounge, and one of the ladies said, I was talking when I asked my realtor, and then she turned to me and said to everybody, this was pre-Shauna. It was before she met me. And I thought that was like the coolest thing for her to say. And I had recently just added her to my database, mailed her a calendar. And I just said, can I have your address? Like, it was a couple weeks ago. Can I have your address? I do mail outs. I would like to put you in my stuff so I can send you cards and things like that. And so that was in her mind. And it's just a little seed. She's not going to buy or sell houses, but she now thinks of me as her realtor, even though I didn't help her buy or sell her house.
Right, right. Okay. Well, to turn the question around, I mean, I would say, how would I know if someone's a good customer? You look at the business that we're in. Does this person have a need for your services? Are they a buyer or seller? And you don't know that until you ask them. You can make some assumptions based on their age. That'll tell you something. If you're at a skateboard park, they're probably not likely to be buying and selling right now, but if you're at a tennis club, yeah, I think you're in with the right group. All
That was
right.
by design, right?
Exactly. That's one of the, besides a good workout, besides
It's
besides the
fun.
tennis and the enjoyment of that. All right. Okay. A lot of good stuff today. Thank you, everybody. And we will see you next week. Try to stay warm. And we're here for you. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.